Episode 2 picks up where the tension quietly settled at the end of the first episode. The house looks calm on the outside, but the atmosphere has changed. Conversations feel shorter, movements feel slower, and everyone is watching everyone a little more closely than before. The day begins, but something about the energy is different. Even the morning routine feels heavier, as if the walls themselves know what is coming. Aslan wakes up with one thought in his mind, the comment he overheard. A simple line, spoken casually, but it revealed more than the people saying it intended. He doesn't show emotion, but he also doesn't forget. He moves through the house quietly, observing. He watches how people talk, how they react, and how they behave when they think no one is listening. Episode 2 shows that Aslan has shifted from being responsible to being alert. He is not just running the household anymore, he is studying it. Asma notices the shift before anyone else. She sees how Aslan's eyes track every detail. She sees how he pauses at moments he normally wouldn't. She sees how he chooses silence instead of confrontation. She doesn't ask questions, but she feels the weight of what's happening. She tries to create normalcy, adjusting breakfast, asking simple questions, maintaining routine, but even she can sense that a line has been crossed in episode 1, and things are not going back to the way they were. Harun enters the scene with a casual attitude, unaware that the environment around him has changed. Or perhaps he is aware but pretending not to be. He avoids making direct eye contact with Aslan. He keeps his tone light. He tries to act as if nothing is wrong. But the problem with acting normal is that it becomes obvious when other people are no longer playing along. His words sound too quick. His explanations sound too prepared. And Aslan notices every bit of it. A small incident becomes the center of the episode. It begins with a missing item, nothing valuable, nothing dramatic, but something that should never have been moved without permission. Aslan asks about it. The responses are hesitant. Answers don't match. And Harun's explanation shifts slightly each time he repeats it. Asma watches quietly. She doesn't interfere. She simply studies the space between the questions and the responses. And in that space, the truth becomes clearer. The episode uses small moments to reveal big changes. The placement of a file, a missed phone call, someone walking into a room they normally avoid, someone whispering in the hallway. These are all tiny details. But in a household where trust is already fragile, every detail becomes a clue. Aslan connects these pieces slowly, without saying much. He knows accusations made too early create chaos. But silence combined with observation creates clarity. And clarity is exactly what he wants. Sarah, the mother, senses the shift late, but when she does, she senses it sharply. She has lived long enough to recognize tension when it enters a home. She notices Asma's cautious tone. She notices Aslan's controlled behavior. And she notices Harun's sudden eagerness to stay busy. For a mother, observing these dynamics is almost instinctive. She doesn't know the details, but she knows something has changed. And she knows that change did not come from nowhere. A key moment happens in the middle of the episode. Aslan asks Harun a direct question, not rude, not aggressive, but firm. The kind of question that tests how a person reacts under pressure. Harun answers quickly. Too quickly. His voice wavers slightly. He adds unnecessary details to make the story believable. And Aslan remains silent, watching, letting the silence do the work. The silence is what exposes the truth. Because people who speak honestly don't fear silence. People who hide things do. SMS steps in gently, not to defend anyone, but to keep the situation from escalating. She offers a practical suggestion. She redirects the conversation. She gives Harun a way to exit without making things worse. But even she can tell that Aslan already understood more than anyone admitted. The house becomes quiet after this. Not peaceful, just quiet in the way a place becomes when people are thinking different thoughts, but pretending everything is the same. Later in the episode, Sarah sits with Asma. It's a short moment, but an important one. She asks simple questions. Is everything fine? Did something happen? Asma doesn't lie, but she also doesn't reveal too much. She simply says, Bastoda ase environment change lag rahahai. A small sentence with a big meaning. Sarah doesn't push further. She knows things in a household often reveal themselves with time, and time is already beginning to uncover what's hidden. The real turning point happens in the final portion of episode 2. Aslan finds something as small detail, a small object, a small piece of information that confirms his suspicion from the previous episode. Something that proves that the mistake was not accidental. Something that proves someone in the house acted knowingly. He doesn't confront anyone. He doesn't say a word, but his silence becomes heavier, clearer, and more powerful than any confrontation. Harun senses it immediately. He watches Aslan's expression, but Aslan gives nothing away. That calmness is what unsettles Harun the most. Not anger, not shouting, just complete, controlled awareness. The kind of awareness that means the truth is no longer a secret. The episode closes with a subtle but powerful message. Trust doesn't break with big actions. It breaks with small choices. Loyalty doesn't disappear openly. It disappears quietly. And when someone in a family becomes Namak Haram, the signs appear slowly, first in their tone, then in their actions, then in the way they hide their intentions. Aslan has seen enough to know that something is wrong. Asma feels the shift. Sarah feels it too. And Harun is running out of places to hide. Episode 2 ends not with confrontation, but with certainty. The calm before the storm. The silence before the truth. The moment before loyalties begin to show their real shape.